Hello, hello, everybody. What's the T? What's the LGBTQIA plus? Hello, everybody. I'm like seeing that I have some like eyeshadow or something under my eye. What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Gosh. Everybody, let me know how you're doing, where you're watching from today. As you can hear, I'm still battling this insane cold that I've had. Like, I've literally never been sick this long ever in my life. It's been absolutely crazy. So, if y'all are out there in the public touching things, make sure you're washing your hands. Make sure you're not exposing yourself to anybody that's sick. Because whatever this is has been absolute hell on earth. It has been like I don't know, 10, 12 days now that I've been dealing with this and it just won't go away. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there, but I hope that none of y'all get sick with whatever this is. That's all I got to say. So hello, everybody. Thank you for hanging out and chatting and getting ready for the live. Seems like a lot of people were enjoying the episode. Hello to my mods that are in the chat already. Miss Callie, I see you in there. What's up? Everybody say hello to the mods. Everybody make sure if you're watching, press like on the video to give it a little boost in the algorithm. Let YouTube know to promote this to the other subscribers. Sometimes YouTube takes a second to show people, even if they're subscribed, even if they have the bell on, that I'm actually live. So they're a little slow on that. Yeah, hellos. We have hello from Virginia. Callie, hi. Neo Americana, hey, how you doing, girl? Pernia saying it's a dark evening already in Sweden. We are finally, with the time change, having daylight past 5 o'clock here in New York, thankfully. Hey Neo, thank you for upgrading your tier. Oh, becoming a channel member and becoming a bus driver. Beep, beep, toot, toot. Thank you so much for becoming a channel member. Hi Sparks Cast, how you doing? What's up? Hi from Poland. Hello Poland, how y'all doing? Total Drama, hi, how you doing? I'm so glad that you can join the stream as well. Building a game, that's so much fun. What are you building? The T is Sparks that, we have some thoughts and feelings about this episode here. We're battling some crazy hair and we're also battling a cold. So, there's a lot there's a lot going on over here at Bussy Quinn Studios. Hi Jackmo, welcome into the live. Hi to Oregon, Miss Hannah. I would love to know. Just let me know what we'll just give it a few minutes and let everybody go ahead and get into the live. But let me know what y'all are thinking about the episode, what y'all thought, generally speaking, and then we'll get into all the details, of course, together. Total Drama, you're building a horror map on Fortnite. That sounds fun. I've played Fortnite like once or twice, and I didn't know that you could actually build your own maps on there. That's really cool. Hannah, my boss is cute. Thank you. Appreciate that. Hi from the Netherlands. Hello, Netherlands. Y'all, can you believe that we're literally in the second to last episode? Like, it's already come and gone. This season has been so quick, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm really glad that we've been able to review it together and do all these lives for it. I really enjoyed that, but I just can't believe it's already over. I'm guessing that they're probably going to start some other season soon in the middle of this because they announced Canada's Drag Race All-Stars, and then they've also been teasing that Down Under versus the World season for quite a while. Like, I don't know when or where that's going to premiere, so that's another question mark I have. But I'm guessing that they're going to probably add something to the schedule before or maybe near the end of this US season because we still have, 6 episodes over there. So, they've got a lot on their plate and a lot to schedule out. Starberry, it did go by super fast. Hello to Belgium. Cillian, this is an All Saints top, a brand called All Saints, and then this is from Leak NYC. And I have a code, you can get 10% off if you want this. You just use code Bussy. I'll put that in the description of the video. Let me see. I'll just put it in the chat for you. If you were asking about this top, this is a top. I actually have an affiliate code with them, and they have all kinds of cute little like stretchy mesh tops that are like good for the rave, good for going out, good for shopping at the grocery store. But I have a partnership with them where if you use code Bussy, you'll get 10% off your order. They're saying, let's see, Jack is saying we need UK All-Stars within the next year. I think that's on the back burner for them as well. I believe they've already started casting or maybe even started filming for that season. There's going to be an interesting wave of seasons, I think, with them still doing Versus the World and now doing All-Stars for all these different countries, like Spain that they've done, and then now, of course, Canada that they've announced, UK that we know is coming. And I'm really curious to see if they're going to continue with the Versus the World format, because it seems like the All-Stars version of that, it's going to be overwhelming, I think, to have all of that going on. But I don't know. Maybe they'll just do one Versus the World a year now. Y'all are talking about Binge Queens as well. What have y'all been liking about Binge Queens? Is it Plain and Corey? Total Drama said, as bad as Global All-Stars was, I would love a season 2. Global All-Stars was such a mess. I was looking back at my video titles from that, and there was just insane upset after upset every single week. They had crazy rigged, production, crazy challenges that were favoring certain girls, all that. So that was definitely a mess. I would need them to work on that a little bit before they thought about bringing that back. But also, like, how does that fit in with all the Versus the World and All-Star seasons all around the country, for all the countries? I don't know. New Metal Freak asking if I would ever review Dragula. So Dragula was actually the first season of Drag Anything that I ever reviewed. And unfortunately, those videos I had to remove from my channel a long time ago because of copyright issues. But actually, that was the first thing I ever did. The only reason I didn't continue reviewing Dragula was that it was just too much on my plate with all the Drag Race seasons. And, with there being something every single week, Drag Race related, it kind of just took over my channel. Plain and Corey's sibling rivalry episode was so good. Okay, I haven't checked that out yet. Haven't watched that yet. Amazing. I wish they bring back all 4 of the Binge Queens but pair them differently. I've been saying for a while I would really love them to rotate out the pit stop hosts in the middle of a season. In the thing with what you're saying about switching up the guests for the Binge Queens things, I'm pretty sure what they do for those types of things is they record multiple episodes in a day. So they probably had like, Plain and Corey in for a day and then the other ones on another day. Like they don't do them every single week. They like batch record them ahead of time. Hi, Naja. Welcome in. Nice to see you. Thank you for chatting. Jack saying this season was the UK 7 we deserved. I think there was a lot of hate for UK 7. It was just unfortunately not as good as UK 6. Like that was the biggest issue. Like the filling in the footsteps and the shoes of UK 6 was just going to be an impossible task considering how good it was. So I think no matter what they did for UK 7, it was just not going to be as good. Hannah, you're agreeing 100%. We need more variety for pit stop hosts. Would love to see some queens who've never won. I agree. I think Corey would be such a fun pit stop host. I think other queens that have not won as well deserve to be on there. There's no reason, I think, to limit that to winners anymore, especially because there's so many queens that are getting popular from these seasons that are not in the top 4, that are not winners, that people want to hear from and want to see. So I don't think that they need to keep limiting that to just this constant rotation of, Bianca, Trixie, Monet, as great as they are as hosts. It'd be really nice to freshen that up with a different set of queens here and there, I think. New Metal Freak didn't know I had reviewed Dragula. There are actually even still some Dragula videos. Because I did I think the cast announcement for Titans, and I did another couple of episodes for another season. If you look for Dragula on my channel, there's a couple of videos still up there. All right. I kind of also stopped watching Dragula. I like to watch the floor shows. Those are my favorite. That's my favorite part of Dragula. The floor shows are just phenomenal usually, and usually they're a lot better than like even a Drag Race runway because there's so much more that goes into them. The regular part of their episodes though, I wish they would stop focusing so much on like the petty drama. Because Drag Race drama is done in such a way that it's like a cherry on top of an episode, I find. Whereas Dragula drama, it seems to be that the main focus of like every episode, maybe this isn't true for the newer seasons, but it was getting to a point where like they would spend 45 minutes with like arguments in the workroom. And I'm just like, I can't watch that. Too much. A little too much. Callie, what happened on the pit stop audio? You said they need to fix it? Was it quiet or something? What's going on? Wait, tinnitus is real? Wait, what wait, what are y'all saying? I haven't watched it yet. What are y'all saying? Did I watch Uticon Project Runway? I did. I loved that season with well, okay. I loved Utica on that season of Project Runway. I actually was doing reactions every week over on my Patreon. Those are still up. And personally, I thought Utica was robbed. I didn't understand why Utica didn't win. And I also thought some of the judging decisions in the other episodes were just strange. I thought Law Roach was being a little too crazy on some of the critiques, and that's kind of his thing, is like to be bitchy and stuff. But he was being real extra on some of those. And I just really thought it was a setup for Utica. And then to see Utica not win was just kind of weird. It was like, what? Not to mention the twins. The twins were certainly an interesting casting choice. They were very close as twins. You said the voice was not on par. Bianca was loud and quiet, and Jujubee was causing mayhem. Interesting. Christy, hi Christy, how you doing? Nice to see you. You said it was a weird pit stop. You felt like Juju was trying hard to be funny, and then you could barely hear her, and then Bianca told her to speak up at one point. Interesting. That seems like something they should have like tested and fixed before they even started recording. Strange. Yeah, Total Drama saying pit stop's been kind of weird all season. Yeah, there's definitely it's not been a strong pit stop season, and I'm not totally sure why. We can go into that more later. But let's go ahead and start our Hot or Rot for UK versus the World, Season 3, Episode 7. And as we go through this, if this is your first time or you've been here a few times, don't forget, as we go through the makeover looks, today I'm going to be giving out polls where you can vote Hot or Rot. So make sure you're interacting with the polls. That helps with the algorithm. Then of course, also gives you an opportunity to vote Hot or Rot for the looks. And make sure to tell me in the chat why you voted hot or rot as we go through those as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and record my video intro for the edited YouTube video. And also don't forget, participating in chat also gives you a chance to be in the edited video, because I'm gonna be calling out some of the comments, so those could end up in the final video as well. Let's see. Hey y'all, it's me, Buspocalypse, and welcome back to Hot or Rot. And today we're going to be reviewing episode 7 of RuPaul's Drag Race UK versus the World Series 3. Where our queens were challenged to give Olympic athletes Olympian makeovers, where the judges say they're going to be looking both for fabulous transformations as well as a strong drag family resemblance. Okay. And so at the beginning of the episode, we are, of course, remembering that our queen, Zahira, was eliminated last week, and everyone's very sad to see her go. I think she got very close with several different members of this cast, including Mariah, and they're all talking about the love of their sisterhood they have together. And we even have Miss Godland crying here because she feels kind of like she betrayed Mariah a little bit in the bottom last week, where she's saying maybe she should have been in the bottom instead of Mariah. And Mariah kind of assures her, like, no, it's all good. It's okay. Don't worry about this. But it was nice to see Godland caring that much about Mariah. You guys remember, all this stuff with her not writing the jokes and just kind of being there and relying on Mariah's jokes was kind of iffy. So she's feeling bad about sending Zahira home and not being in the bottom. But the queens are also happy because we finally have a top 5 for this season, and the queens are excited and celebrating that. We also have the queens going over who has what wins, where we're entering this episode with Kate entering the 2-badge club, and she's very proud about that. Of course, we also have one queen in this cast who's not won anything, and that is the only Naomi. So this is a really big episode for Naomi to make it or break it. Spoiler alert, she kind of breaks it, but that's okay. This could have been really good for her, though, had her makeover gone well. So to decide how the makeovers are going to happen today, they actually do this like superlatives thing where Kate, as the winner from last week's episode, hands out medals for who fits what description, where she says the front runner of this competition is Godland, the cringiest toe curling queen is herself, and where she gives the overconfident medal to Fontana, the personality medal to Mariah, and the most worried, as in who's most worried concerning their place in the competition, to the only Naomi. Okay, and Rupaul then reveals the twist of this episode is that to assign the Olympian athletes to each queen, the queens actually have to peel back a sticker on their medal which has a number corresponding to one of the Olympian athletes. And so they peel their little stickers back and reveal some really interesting pairings. I don't think, had the queens been able to choose their makeover partners themselves, they necessarily got the people that they would have wanted. Like in particular, we have Godland, who's like the tiniest queen in this competition, paired with Greg Rutherford, who's this super tall long jumper guy. But it makes for an interesting episode. Usually, yeah, Kylie's saying this is an interesting way to pair. It was interesting. I think usually, in makeovers, we have people assigning people or the queens themselves choose. So, having this random element to it, was it random? Was it not? I don't know. Maybe the producers saw who got what medal and then gave the corresponding number medals to the athletes to sort of rig it a little bit, which is kind of what I think might have happened with some of the pairings, but not that it super affected things. And Miku's saying only Fontana got a good match. Bento saying Kate would have chosen Greg if she had the choice. I think the strangest pairing was definitely Greg and Godland, who just like the size difference alone made her transformation really difficult, but we'll get to that in a second. Okay, let's get into the actual makeovers. First up, don't you wanna? It's Fontana, who actually we learned this episode won her original makeover challenge and is partnered up with Molly Thompson-Smith, an Olympic rock climber. And up front, Fontana talks about being a little nervous. Her partner could be kind of shy for a challenge like this, but Fontana has really big goals for her duo regardless, where Fontana talks about wanting to go back to her roots and bring her partner, Montana, to a carnival in Rio. She also talks about wanting to teach her samba, which Rupaul tells her may be a little bit too difficult to accomplish. On the runway, though, they did a great job aesthetically, and she names her partner Montana both because she climbs mountains as a sport and also because it rhymes with Fontana. I thought the drag name there was actually genius. Probably one of the better drag makeover names we've seen, and love how it had that dual meaning. I think the look is very true to the carnival aesthetic that Fontana was hoping to accomplish. And I think it seemed they kind of left the samba part out of this, though. They didn't really do a lot of dancing on the runway. There was a couple, little movement moments, but it was mostly just them walking down the runway in the look, holding hands. I'm going to give you all's poll. Okay, so I'm sending out the poll for Montana and Fontana. Let me know what you thought about their transformation, hot or rot, and tell me in the chat how many flames you would give this. This, for me, I thought was a really solid transformation. I'm going to start off around 5 flames here. I also want to say, I think the transformation from the Olympian athlete into Montana was done well. This is very clearly Fontana's signature makeup with that big eyeshadow and the more natural looking brow paired with that. You can see the before and then the after. Fontana did a really good job of taking her into the world of drag. I think there could be some commentary made about how the makeup is not quite as big and draggy as sometimes maybe they want the transformations to be, but that's also not what Fontana's makeup is. She has that kind of more natural looking beauty queen beat. So I think this really worked with her. I think the looks are also really cool in that they're not just carnival, but they're also paying homage to macaws, which are an endangered species of bird, which is where all the feathers are coming into this. And then the beak you can see on the headpiece as well, smartly incorporated in the looks. What I found curious here was that their boots are similar, but not matching. And I actually liked Montana's boots better, where we can see she has a sparkly go-go boot and Fontana has a PVC or latex thigh high. I'm not sure why they didn't have matching boots there, but small detail. I think they also were having an issue with Montana's headpiece that's falling off a little bit. But overall, this was a really, really, I think, great runway. Very, very much red as Fontana to me. And I thought they both looked great. I was really shocked. I was really, really shocked that she didn't win tonight, actually. Okay, let's switch all are saying. 93% hot. I'm seeing some 5 from Callie. Samantha giving 4.5. Vesinvis saying 4.5. They hit the brief. Hannah saying, I think it's done well. However, the feedback could easily be crafty, like Ross Matthews would say. Tenerife saying, I need hair. I think that's an interesting commentary there, needing the hair, because they are wearing these flatter wigs and the focus is more on the headpiece than the hair itself. Spark saying, also the drag makeup wouldn't look nice on her at all. I agree, and because this was Fontana's signature beat, I was happy with this more natural looking glam. Sarah saying, I like the fact that the waist feathers were slightly different. Yeah, they definitely also had a different crystal incrustation on their bodice pieces, where Montana's has these large kind of emerald cut looking sapphire pieces, or squares. I think that's called emerald cut, I'm not really sure. And then we see that Fontana's is more tinier crystals all together. Tenerife saying, done well but boring. Juan, hello. Thank you for coming to the live. It's okay that you're late. Hello, hello. Welcome in. I'm sorry. Philip saying, I feel like this look should have won, but it won't be remembered for long after the season. I think a lot of the transformations tonight were done well, but none of them blew me away. I'm not going to leave this makeover episode, like you said, thinking about these transformations. They're not going to occupy a lot of space in my brain. But overall, yes, I agree. This is really done well. So I'm going to give this a hot for me. And it looks like y'all were all closer to about 4.5 out of 5 hot flames. So I'll give y'all 4.5 out of 5 hots for y'all. And next up, it's the one, the only Naomi who in the challenge is paired with Shanae's Reed, a BMX athlete who holds 9 world titles and shares her journey of finding herself after a bout of alcoholism and talks about how her sobriety journey has really changed her outlook on life. These two actually connected really well. I think of any of the pairs of queens and their partners tonight, these two seemed the most close. Like they were hugging each other, loving on each other, and really understanding each other on a deeper level, it seemed. However, the transformation that we got in this makeover was a little questionable on multiple levels. Firstly, I thought the concept for this was odd. Like, for example, the only Naomi names her partner Claudia in reference to the supermodel, which makes sense considering Naomi's drag name is a reference to Naomi Campbell, and so they've both got these iconic supermodel names. But the looks that they give on the runway are paying homage to the Versace family brother and sister Gianni and Donatella. And so it's this weird thing where it's like, okay, we're supermodels, but we're dressed up as members of the Versace family. And that was so confusing to me. I just did not understand her train of thought there and why she wanted to do that. Very odd to me. So the other layer of this, of course, is that on a drag family resemblance makeover, Naomi coming out in boy drag dressed as Gianni Versace was like, what the hell are you doing? Because this is not you. This is not your drag. You're literally in like a costume of another person. It was just so odd. And then on top of all that, the Gianni Versace boy drag just didn't look that good. The white tux suit is not fit well at all. And the judges do critique that, of course, but something is off in the shape of the shoulder pads. It's too long. The sleeves are weird. It's this weird oversized fit that looks so stark and off with all this black leather. And so that was just so disconnected for me. Concerning the actual transformation though, I think Claudia definitely went through a transformation here, giving before and after. I think a big missed opportunity was the wig though. Okay, they were going for that like classic Donatella bang wig on her, but the fringe is cut so short around and in a weird circular way that it frames her face strangely. The makeup though is very Naomi. Like had Naomi come out in an actual Naomi look, maybe these two would have looked okay together on the runway. But the bang on Miss Claudia here is odd. The outfit though is, I think, cute enough. The leather skirt, the bra, that's all cute. She looks like she's, you know, serving some glamazon realness. The judges said she looked not confident on the runway though. I didn't really see that. I thought she had a good level of confidence. But let me know what y'all think. I'm gonna give you the hot or rot poll. Okay, so you have your poll for Naomi and Claudia. Tell me if you think this makeover was hot or rot and why. Let me read some of y'all's comments now. Spark saying didn't like it at all and the makeup is a mess. Gabe God's throwing one hot flame into the chat. Neo saying this was biting Naomi Smalls All-Stars 4 makeover without the proper execution, even the opening wig. Great concept, bad execution. Gabe throwing in a rot emoji into the chat. Karen saying there's so many good ways to do drag king. I think there's so many good ways to do drag king, and then also like there's so many ways that she could have just looked like herself. There was just nothing about Naomi's tux look that read as Naomi. I did not understand why she wanted to not look like herself in the drag family resemblance makeover challenge. Like where was she, like where did she get that idea from? I don't know. Puddle Drama saying soft rot though Claudia looked great. Strawberry Cupcake, it wasn't a good idea to do an impersonation for family resemblance. Agree. So you, Strawberry Cupcake also brought up the Crystal Method Sesame Street, the Bert and Ernie looks, and I was thinking of that too when I was thinking of, can you do a drag family resemblance thing that isn't classically your own drag? Of course, the answer is yes, it can be done well, but I think it just has to be in a way that fits with how you do drag and what you do drag for. That Crystal Method, Sesame Street makeover was so special and weird and quirky, but so was Crystal Method's drag. This just coming out dressed like Gianni, it was weird. Ludo saying warming up. Killa saying what she should have done was 90s supermodel look since both models came out in the 90s. Yeah, of course. Like, that's like the most obvious choice here and the one that would make the most sense. Had they both come out looking like, in a classic Naomi Campbell look and a classic Claudia look from the 90s, they probably could have won this episode. I mean, I just don't understand why she did this. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give this like 2 flames. Like, she tried something I'll say 1.5. She tried something really interesting. It just didn't work. Overall, though, for me, this is definitely a rot. For y'all are polling at 70% rot. I'm gonna end y'all's poll there. Really was disappointing to me on so many levels because I kind of thought Naomi was gonna surprise us this week in the makeover and make it into the final 4. I really did. So this was sad to see her really just miss the mark on the brief here. And next up, oh my god, it's Godland, who in this episode is paired with Greg Rutherford, an Olympic long jumper. And Godland, of course, talks about how she's nervous to be paired up with such a big, butch, masculine man. And to be honest, I would be too. I mean, that's a big boy to have to put into her style of drag. And we can even see there's a moment where she's trying to fit the wig that she's brought for her partner onto Greg's head, and she's having to like stretch out the lace and to try to make it fit. It was just like trying to put toddler clothes on a grown person type of situation. So also, though, apparently Greg, I didn't really know anything about Greg, but apparently he's like a gay icon of sorts, and he's an ally of the community, to be clear. But he talks about having done photo shoots for Attitude magazine and stuff. Found that interesting. By the way, do a little Google search for those Attitude magazine covers. He looks great in those. And so the concept that Godland brings to this transformation is she wants to style Greg as her drag mother, where for whatever reason, this mother is both fierce, but then also, I guess, like, sympathetic to the struggles of her daughter on the runway. Like, it's a strange kind of story they're telling where Godland is coming out on the runway, unsure of herself, falls over, hurts herself, and then Greg, as the mother, Sandy Goddess, comes over to help her up. I don't know. It was strange. It was a strange story, I think, to tell. I think in these drag family resemblance makeover challenges, they should be telling the story of confidence, of transformation, of fierceness, and then to have Godland like falling on the runway and then like doing the baby voice thing, a little cringe to me. I didn't really get that. Maybe though, there's like a cultural thing that wasn't fully translating that she was trying to convey or touch on. I don't know, but I found the baby voice thing kind of cringe. I think the outfits themselves though are cute. Not like, oh my god, wow, like every single runway from Godland has been. And I think that was kind of where I was experiencing a little bit of a letdown, because every single runway from Godland in this season has just been incredible, eye-popping insanity. This was a little more muted to me, a little more toned down, and I think it was also hard for the judges to see this type of look, this style, not be so over the top like we are expecting Godland to be. I'm gonna give y'all the poll here. Obviously, as we've touched on, Godland had the biggest challenge here, I think, in transforming this big man. Something about this, even though she was acting like a mother on the runway, also just wasn't really giving me family. Like, it was giving me, like, friend on the street, saw somebody fell and went to help her up. I don't know. Something like that. Let's see what y'all are saying. Dina saying the hairline, ... Hannah saying somehow she made her look Asian. I think the styling cues from the outfit being so traditionally Thai definitely worked in the sense of she gave her a Thai transformation for sure. And then she's got the hair accessories, the way the bun is styled. And so there are these cues that do look Thai, but something about the two together just didn't read family to me. Hannah giving 2.5. Maddie saying it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. Let's see. Tenerife saying there are better looking traditional Thai costumes. I thought the shorts was an interesting choice. There's something about that is just, I don't know. I think because Greg is such a big masculine dude, going for the shorts look was gonna just be a tough sell no matter what. Had she put Greg, Miss Sandy Goddess, in a glamorous dress, something more like she wore last week in the Reveal Yourself runway, something more traditional like that would have been sold a lot better to me. Total Drama said, choices, we all make choices. Gracie saying, hi Gracie, still thought there was much worse on the runway tonight. Zed Martin saying, why was all that fuss about him tucking? Yeah, yeah, all that fuss about tucking just to wear baggy shorts on the runway. Obviously, they just wanted a moment to like, oh, look at the package, yada, 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 in the workroom. And the drag names are not very good. So he chose the name Sandy Goddess because Sandy, he's a long jumper in the Olympics, and they jump into big pits of sand where they often fall and get sandy cheeks. I understood what they were going for here, for sure. The VC said, is there an option beyond rot decomposition? Looks like I'm seeing lots of 2.5. For me, something about this is just like, it's like not bad, but it's also just like not great. I probably personally will do like a warming up here. Y'all are at 72% rot though. That's a hardcore rot from y'all. So let me end your poll. 72% rot. We're gonna give y'all, with 72, that's closer to just 2 flames. So we're gonna press the rot button for y'all. Gabe God said -1 flames. Total Drama said could have been Leapland. That would have been really cute. Wee Bento said the wife and I absolutely hated this look. Neo saying this was a bottom placement. Kate should have been safe versus this. At least she tailored that dress to perfection for her Olympian. I agree. I agree on that. We'll get to Kate here in a second, but you're right. Okay. So, very awkward transformation here. Didn't really work. Next up, forget the Paris. It's Mariah Balenciaga, who in the challenge is paired with Daniel Jervis, an Olympic swimmer who actually is a member of the queer community, which is very obvious that we see once we see this person does not want to take off the heels in the workroom and is feeling absolutely puss on the runway, which is why I think they ended up winning tonight. So yeah, this is a queen already. And Mariah's concept for their transformation is she wants to pay homage to the ballroom scene and walk the category legendary face as herself and protege for her drag daughter. These are their looks. She names her drag daughter Amira Balenciaga, where I think the idea was to name her Amira because it's an anagram of Mariah, and where we see both queens here in these orange, kind of flowy looks where Mariah's got the cape, Amira's got the little shoulder moment, this little moment in the front that's really movie and flowy. And I had really mixed feelings about this transformation. On one hand, I think the actual transformation of Jervis into this queen, right? From this man to that's a gaggy transformation. That's really, really big points for transformation there. Absolutely. She is feeling her oats. She's feeling her goats. She also did, Mariah also did a really good job just with the actual makeup. I think maybe the best tonight, I would say. It's very obviously Mariah's makeup just stamped right onto her face. And all of this in here in the mug is fierce. She looks good. Absolutely. I think I was having some issues with the undergarment situation on Mariah's look specifically. And then also the fit of the look that Amira's wearing with this fabric here on the chest. It's a lot. It's a lot of like clunky looking fabric, which I found strange considering this is an Olympic swimmer who's used to being in basically a bikini. You know what I mean? Like I didn't totally get why the mother wanted to wear the bodysuit and have her legs out, but the protege has to be completely covered up. That was kind of a disconnect for me there. I thought maybe she should have looked more mother and made her daughter look more daughter. Just a thought. Okay, let me give y'all a hot or rot poll. I think another issue aesthetically with these looks, not just the transformation, but the look itself, where the wigs were a mess. Okay, give me your hot or rot and tell me why. Tell me how many flames you would give this. I'm going to start this off probably about 3.5. Mostly because I thought the transformation was very successful. This was a queen before she even got into the workroom, and once she had the mug on, she was feeling the full fantasy. Okay? Fully. However, the look to me was just kind of off. One saying, am I crazy if I say the face and hair looked a little busted? I think the mug is actually good. It's the hair. The hair being so flat up top, when you have a really masculine face, you know, and especially when you paint really, really big, if you don't have a big wig to complement the bigness of the features that are under the makeup and then the makeup itself, it's just gonna look off. You know, you have to proportionize all these different elements of your drag, and the hair was a mess. Okay, messy boots. This looked like maybe they styled it the day of. This looks like maybe the wigs were in a bag somewhere that were pulled out that day and just needed a big refresh, but the wigs were messy. Let's see what y'all are saying. Sparks saying hot only because she used your name. Whimsical tank top. Hated the wigs and styling. The dress was fine, but she couldn't tailor it. I know. I think there was something just off with like the fit overall of both looks, and that was kind of disappointing. I will also say, when the queens are preparing for these looks, they're putting something together so ahead of time. They have no idea what their partner is going to look like. And so there's always going to be a struggle there, especially when you're not a seamstress or whatever. You're really not going to be able to customize your look for your partner. Let's see. Zed Martin saying 2 flames for Mariah and 4 flames for Amira. Paulina saying, I love Mariah, but this was not it. Gabe Con saying the wigs look so dry. The makeup looks dusty and the undergarments look dusty. Ooh, she's giving rough commentary. Gracie said the win personally felt a bit forced. I agree. I don't know that I really agree with the win here. I mean, I don't at all. We'll talk more about that when we get to placements. I didn't understand why they pushed so hard for this win, though. This, to me, felt like a look that RuPaul and the judges always look for when we're talking about transformations, right? They want to see glamazon. They want to see the trade turned into Womana serving her puss fantasy on the runway. Like, that is what RuPaul wants. We know that, right? Doing anything outside of that same old thing for a transformation, the judges are going to be side-eyeing it. And when you look at all the queens side by side tonight, this was the one pair of queens that gave traditional RuPaul glamazon type of fantasy. And so that really is, I think, why these two got the win tonight. Like she's saying, just glad to see Mariah doing well. I agree. I mean, like, it's always nice to see Mariah get some to see her get some praise and to see her continue to be on this redemption journey for this season. It's been nice. Nikki saying RuPaul takes away Fontana's win because of her victory dance in episode 3. And Gape God saying RuPaul's favorite color is orange. Is that tea? Do we know that? I didn't know that. Nathan saying it's the shoulders and the hair that make her look short and squat. Something is very off in this area. I agree. Okay, so this for me, I think the commentary has got me down to like 3 out of 5 hot flames. I think safe hot though. On any other season, this probably would have just been a very safe look. Just a very like, okay, this happened, everybody forgets about it type of situation, right? On this season, it's a different story because the transformations were just so good, but not great, and like whatever. Okay, let me end y'all's poll. Y'all are ending at 57% hot, so we'll hit the hot button for y'all. Sounds like a very safe hot for y'all as well. Okay, Gape and Neo confirming Rue loves orange is her favorite color. Okay, true teed. Soul saying, I feel like the way she painted the mug on her looks like Anita Wiglet. She kind of does look like Anita Wiglet. You're right. Very that. All right, next up, she's running up that hill. It's Kate Butch, who's paired with the Olympian Celia Kwanzaa, who's a rugby player and who plays the position of hooker, where they then use that to form a drag name for her, Hooker Butch. And that I thought was very smart, true to what she does as a sport, and then of course it working with Butch, playing into that masculine thing as well. The drag name was very smart. This is their transformation. And I think these two had one of the more interesting looks tonight. It was this idea that these two are twin sisters who fell asleep smoking and then lit their bed quilts on fire and have singed their hands together, which is why they're holding hands. They've singed off half of their wigs. The skirt tails of their dresses have been all burnt up. And I think conceptually, like I said, it's very interesting. They've also got some special effects makeup on their chin from the burns as well. And I say it's interesting because it's a really juxtaposition here of taking this like kind of schoolgirl age in the way she styled the wigs and the dresses and paired it with this darkness of we were smoking in bed and burnt our dresses and selves up. The other interesting thing I found about this transformation was the dress looked so much better on her partner than it did on Kate. And she talks about how she actually tailored the dress a lot more for Celia, aka Hooker, and it's very obvious that she did. You can see the sleeve fit, the collar fit, the way the waist is dropped a little bit lower, and her proportions in this outfit just look so much stronger than it looks on Kate. Kate's look, honestly, was a little dowdy. It's giving Mrs. Doubtfire, right? And I think the quilt fabric is a really risky material to use there. But if you're over there tailoring for your partner, why don't you tailor for yourself too? Why is the fit in Kate's chest so off? It literally just looks... It just looks like it doesn't fit. I don't get it. I really don't get that. I also didn't love the Fierce Drag Jewels necklaces they put on this. That felt like an afterthought. I think a more delicate jewelry would have worked a lot better here. All that said, I appreciated the camp value of this, the artistic reach of this. You know, there's things about this that I like. Let's see what y'all are saying. Let me give you the poll. The other issue with this look is the transformation of Hooker's face. So let's be fair, the transformation transformed, right? This was Celia, aka Hooker Butch, before, and this is her after. Kate did a really good job, for better or worse, of putting her stamped mug onto Hooker. That is Kate Butch's face. Like, these two are giving twins. Absolutely. And in that sense, I think Kate was really successful. Some of the other queens, you know, like Naomi tonight, weren't giving drag family resemblance. Like these two are giving drag family resemblance. Someone said they were giving shining twins. Yes, absolutely, a little bit there. Gracie said they should have just fully burnt the outfits. I think the quilt material was, it's a risk. Maybe had they done, let's say, quilt ruffle in the skirt and then done a different material up top, maybe this could have worked a bit better. This for me, let's see, I'm gonna start somewhere like probably 2. And Trib saying, I must be delusional because I thought Kate had a chance at winning this. I don't, I think that you're not delusional in thinking that because the concept is so interesting. The transformation itself is fully transformed into Kate's twin. These two are absolutely giving drag family resemblance, right? Is this that traditional glamazon type of transformation that RuPaul likes to see? No, not really. And was Kate's look that great? No, her partner's was better. Kind of strange, just strange overall. Neo saying they should have been conjoined twins. That might have been more interesting for sure. Spark saying it's a rot for me. Moonlight saying -half. Vinkle saying 1 flame. Callie saying she met the brief. That's what I'm saying, is like Kate really did meet the brief tonight, right? When there were other queens who didn't. It's just that the look itself was kind of like, okay, what's going on here? You don't care about Philip saying, oh my God, Kate looked exactly like Jimbo is Shirley Temple. It was giving a little bit of that. I see that for sure. For sure. Melanie saying, I hate a scoop cheekbone. Yeah, this thing that she's contoured onto her partner's face here is, and Kate does that in her makeup as well. It's very odd. Kate's makeup is, you know, it's Kate. She didn't do a good job, I think, of doing her makeup on this lady's face. The proportions are like too big. It's too much black eyeliner. It's too much white cut crease. Then it's too much eyeshadow. And then it's too much eyebrow. It's like she was painting as if she were painting her own face. And like I said, that was good in one sense because it was definitely Kate's face, but it just didn't match her partner's actual face structure in the way it should have. Iris saying, the more I look at the wigs, the more I hate them. Oh, okay, I'm gonna end y'all's poll. Y'all are at 55% rot. So I'm gonna hit the rot button for me. Rot. And I'm gonna hit the rot button for y'all. Rot. Hey, which brings us to our placements, where I think in a surprise twist here, we have Fontana called out as safe, Godland called out as safe, Mariah called out as the winner, and then the bottom two called out as the only Naomi and Kate Butch. Very curious. Naomi, I think, was the one placement this week that made complete and total sense to me. She, I thought, absolutely deserved the bottom two because she just didn't meet the brief. Kate being in the bottom two with her surprised me because, again, I thought Kate met the brief, but just the look wasn't that good. Let me know what y'all are thinking. Who do you think should have been in the bottom two with Naomi? I'm going to give you a poll. I want to know what y'all have to think about this. Okay, so there's your poll. So I said, who should have been in the bottom with Naomi? You can vote any one of the other 4 queens. Let me know what y'all thought. Like I was saying, the placements gagged me a little bit for sure. And because I also thought Fontana was going to win. Callie saying also I thought Fontana had the win. Gracie saying the bottom was between Kate, Mariah, and Naomi. I know it was hard for me to really think like who should have actually been in the bottom with her. For me, I don't know if it should have been Kate. I thought it could have been Godland for sure though. Gabe saying Raven for Rue's hairline. Rue's hairline is pretty far back today. She said, let me have a 6 head today. She pulled that way back there. Not just saying Mariah or Kate. So here's why I think Godland didn't get placed in the bottom. I think Godland has a little bit of plot armor for the season because she's done so well every single episode. And I think they didn't want to risk putting Godland in the bottom with Naomi, considering English being a little bit of a struggle for Godland, as we've seen now across several different episodes. And I think going for this song that they chose for the lip sync, the Anastasia song, it could have been really difficult for Godland, right? And so I think the choice to put Kate in the bottom with her was more a choice to protect Godland and Kate from an elimination. Because let's be so real, after Kate just got her second win, like, are we expecting anything other than to see Kate win the lip sync? No. They've been very obvious with the telegraphing of what they want from this season. And I think putting Kate in the bottom when Naomi was just basically like, bye Naomi, like, we'll see you later. Okay, so the poll was in. Who should have been the bottom with Naomi? Y'all have voted 57% Godland, 31% Kate, 10% Mariah. So it seems like the majority, the democracy has spoken. Y'all are thinking Godland should have been lip syncing along Naomi. Okay, I want to see a poll here. Tell me who you thought should have won. Mariah? Okay, Mariah or Fontana? I'm going to read what y'all are saying about the bottoms. Tactic saying Defo protecting Godland. They wanted her in the finale. Understandable, though she's brilliant. I know. I have mixed feelings about it because it's like, yeah, I want Godland in the finale, of course. You know, could she have beaten Naomi in a lip sync? I don't know. But also, did it even matter if somebody was going to beat Naomi in a lip sync? Because, as we'll get to here in a second, I don't even think Kate beat Naomi in the lip sync. Looks like everyone's majority agreeing Fontana should have won this makeover. I'm right there with y'all. She was my favorite transformation of the night. I was really surprised that Fontana didn't get this win. I don't think it's always a bad thing, though, to have a sort of underdog situation going into the finale. Maybe this is a good setup for her to get some more, like, love and sympathy from the fans. Daniel saying, you can see Godland had the lyrics on the paper reading in the back. They didn't want to risk her not knowing the words. Paulina saying it was Fontana's night. Enrique saying 1000% Fontana. Hannah saying maybe Rue was confident Kate could beat Naomi in a lip sync, not so much Godland. Weebento saying, as someone that's never done drag, Mariah's look is the one I'd want to be in. That's a really interesting point there. And I think from the perspective of wanting that more traditional glamazon type of transformation, I can definitely agree with you because that's what Mariah gave her partner. And that's what the judges often look for in these types of challenges. Okay, so I'm in this poll. Y'all are 74% Fontana deserved the win here in this challenge. So our little robbed queen, Miss Fontana. Robbiana. Robtana. Absolute saying, has Godland lip sync this season? I don't think so. So yeah, I do think that putting Kate in the bottom next to Naomi was kind of like insurance for the judges and their way of guaranteeing that they would at least get like a fair looking lip sync against Naomi. However, in the actual lip sync, which is to Left Outside Alone by Anastasia, I personally thought Naomi won. She looked so fierce in this lip sync, like she was understanding this kind of tortured artist rock and roll vibe. The way Naomi was lip syncing just really connected with the music. I think resonated a lot in how she moved her body, moved her facial expression, moved her hands. Like Naomi was like really experiencing everything in this song, and I believed her lip sync so fiercely. Of course, she looks a little crazy in that wig. I wish she had changed wigs for this lip sync, but that's just what she chose to serve today. Let me give y'all a poll for the lip sync. Tell me who you thought won. It's gonna be Kate versus Naomi. So I will say though, Kate did a really good job in this lip sync. Both queens gave a good lip sync. Absolutely. I just think Naomi won this by a couple of hairs. Vestivan saying the Miranda Priestley wig. It is a little bit Miranda Priestley. Pernia saying they're cementing her as winners based on the track record. I think you're talking about Godland there. Hermione about the transformation said Fontana, in your opinion, didn't transform her partner. She just put her in a cool looking costume. I think that's fair as well. Gracie saying, in a way, I wish Mariah was in the bottom so we could have at least felt like Naomi had somewhat of a chance. Hannah saying it was really close, but you preferred Naomi. I do think it was close. It wasn't like Naomi absolutely swept it up, but I did think that she won this lip sync. I could tell based on the edit though, the way they were mostly just featuring Kate, that they were going to give Kate the win. You know, it's so transparent the way they do these edits. It was like obvious what they were going to do, but Pilla saying you wanted Naomi to win, but Kate had more levels. One second here. I think our chat froze. Or my chat froze. We Bento, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. You said Kate's badges saved her in this lip sync. I agree with you. I think Kate had some plot armor here. There was no way that Kate was going to be sent home after getting her second badge and after cementing herself as a judge's favorite. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for the super chat. Also want to say thank you to all my channel members that are here participating in the chat. Sparks, Gracie, Neo, any other channel members here, his names are in green. You can become a channel member by clicking the join button next to my name below the stream to help support the channel. Boobly saying it's clear they want Godland to win this season. Godland should have been in the bottom. I think that's very fair. Okay, so let's talk hottest hots. For me personally, we've talked about this. It's going to be Fontana and Montana. Interestingly, though, my patrons were thinking something a little bit differently. My patrons over on patreon.com right now have a tied vote between Fontana and Mariah for their hottest hots this week. And that surprises me because our poll here was just so much in favor of Fontana versus Mariah. But the patrons are over there thinking Mariah was half and half with Fontana. Brundoon, hi, how you doing? Also a channel member, what's up? Thank you for chatting. Crazy that Naomi's polling well. I think Naomi looked constipated for this lip sync. Not constipated, no. I don't think she looked constipated. That's crazy. Ella saying, no, I was living for Mariah. You feel betrayed. Wait, do you feel betrayed by her not polling well in the votes today, or how do you mean? Okay, I'm gonna end this poll for y'all though for this lip sync. Y'all are very close. Very close. Oh wow, I ended it at 50%. Wow. Okay, wait, y'all are 50% Naomi won the lip sync and 50% Kate. So that's interesting to see how close it was there for y'all. 50-50 though. Okay, now of course we have to talk about so Kate gets the Shantae, of course. and Naomi is sent home. And I think this is really sad to see Naomi go. She only was safe in this competition though. She never had like a winning moment. And so that kind of sucked. But I don't think she's leaving this season, you know, a loser or whatever. I think very much like Zahira, showed off a lot of great drag, a lot of cool runways, and did well enough in so many challenges that I think she got a lot of new fans out of this experience. So she, like Zahira, I think are really just going to come out on top for this experience. And we had her hugging her partner here and saying goodbye to Naomi, which is sad to see. But that does mean that we have a final four now in the competition. So going into the finale, our track record sounds like this. We have Fontana with 1 win, Godland with 2 wins, Kate Butch with 2 wins, and Mariah with 2 wins. So Fontana is the only queen going into this finale with only 1 win. That said, I would like to know who y'all are rooting for. I'm going to give you one last poll for today's video. I want you to tell me who you're rooting for to win the crown and why. Personally, I think I am probably rooting for Godland the most here. I think she's been the most consistent across the entire season. She's had a great track record. Godland has had some insane runways. Godland has been funny. You know, she really has, I think, done it all in this season. I think Kate has done really well in this season as well. This has been a great redemption season for Kate. Maybe not on the runway, but in the challenges, absolutely. She's proved how funny she is over and over, and it's been good for her. Mariah, I think it's also been a good season for her. She had some really high points. I don't think she's going to win because, again, I really think the UK versus the World Series wants to crown somebody that's like not a like from the UK or from the US. I think they're gonna want to crown like either Fontana or Godland just because they've crowned a UK girl now 2 seasons in a row. This could also be Mariah's moment though. After all these years, I could believe it. You know, especially depending on what this final episode is gonna look like. If they do like a girl group type of, or they do, you know, like a track, they do a feature, or they make a music video, something like that, could be a really easy way for any of the queens, honestly, to prove that they deserve the crown. Let's see what y'all are saying. Gracie said, Godland has been such an infectious personality. Just makes me want to root for her. She is so lovable. Absolutely. Ella saying Fontana and Godland top 2. Spark saying Godland's got this. Neo saying Kate really should have 3 badges. Too bad the other UK queens won the first 2 seasons because I think this was her win. It's crazy to like look back at what happened on the first UK versus the World seasons and how we got to those winners. Love and respect to Blue and Tia, of course. Love them as queens. But it was just such a crazy series of events with those lipstick eliminations that got them into the finale. That is like, wow, what happened there, right? This season, though, Kate has dominated and done so well in the challenges, and this really would have been probably the first UK winner in the UK versus the World franchise to be like, yeah, she really deserves this. And so that kind of sucks for her. But I think it would really surprise me if they crowned Kate, just considering they already had 2 UK winners. Corey saying Kate for the redemption, the camp, and the humor. Karen giving some love to Fontana. Pernia said, uh-oh, sirens are back. The sirens are always going in the background here all day, every day. I like honestly don't even hear them. I just tune them out now. Zed Martin said, I'm hashtag Team Fontana. The reason I'm Brazilian. Let's see what the poll is trending. The poll is trending 12% Fontana, 53% Godland, 22% Kate, 13% Mariah. So it seems like Kate and Godland are y'all's favorites to win here. I don't often see fan opinion change much before the finale and during the finale. Like usually there's not going to be a big shift, like let's say back towards Fontana or back towards Mariah. You know, they would have to, I think, have Godland and Kate really mess a situation up in this finale, you know, and I didn't look at the preview though. Did y'all look at the preview? Are they gonna do like lip sync for the crown, like a bracket thing, like they've done in the prior seasons? Vinny Call saying, before the show I was rooting for Kate, now I'm rooting for Godland. Godland was such a surprise in this season for me. I didn't know anything about her going into this, but she has just at every turn consistently made me fall in love with her more and more and more. Whimsical Tank Top saying they only showed the reunion. Okay, yeah, I don't think they really announced it yet. Some performance-based challenge? Okay. Jack saying, I hope they don't do a lip sync tournament. I'm so against the lip sync for the crown tournaments. I just don't think that they're like fair looking ever. It's always just them, you know, picking the queen they want to win in the end of it anyways. And so it's like, why are we even pretending to have these little lip sync bracket things where so often one queen will very obviously beat one queen and they progress somebody who like didn't win the lip sync into the next round. It's just never really works for me. Artist Storm saying I liked Fontana at the start, annoyed me a little bit. Either way, this is the first time I'm not rooting for anyone. All the top four, they're lacking or annoying. That's a little tough. I think there's some good deserving winners here. Sparks saying I hope his music video performance. I would really love to see a music video. I just hope they don't make the prize. Do y'all remember the prize that they gave to Blue for season 1? They recorded some of her vocals and put it on this weird mix of a Rupaul track. It was arguably the worst prize they've ever given to a winner across any spin-off of Drag Race ever. Nikki saying maybe there'll be a wild card double crowning, Godland and Kate. I think it could be possible. Will they do a double crowning on like a versus the world series though? I don't know. I mean, here's my theory though. I think they're gonna save the double crowning moment because we will inevitably see one again, but I think they're gonna save it for something like a future all winner season, or maybe a really close regular all-stars season, because it's such a dramatic thing to do. It's so divisive in the fan base. It's kind of like against the spirit of having a competition. You know, it's like, why have a competition if you're not going to pick a winner? And so if they ever do it again, I think they're going to save it for a bigger moment. This doesn't really feel close enough to me personally, or, you know, or even just looking at the track records, sure, a lot of the queens have 2 wins, but I think they'll be able to very clearly pick a winner here. Sparks saying all winner season for sure. Yeah, you agree with what I'm saying there. Neo saying blue face crack at the season 2 UK crowning when she found out they got money. And that's the other reason I think they won't do a double crowning for this versus the world. I mean, they're only giving £50,000 as the prize. And yes, they pay them every episode, and I think even give them a budget now. But like splitting £50,000, you know, just in the 25 and 25, it's also kind of like eye roll moment. And Miku's, oh, see, yeah, I agree with that. And Miku's saying I think UK 6 should have been double crowning. That's a season where it was so neck and neck with Beauvoir. And that, yes, I absolutely agree that should have been double crowning. Noah saying I loved how the UK versus the World Series incorporated a variety of countries. Could still be more though. This was the first versus the world season to not be so heavily focused on UK and US, and I love that about this season as well. I think this season definitely got rid of some fan favorites that were bringing in viewers way too early. We lost Melinda Verga in episode 1, that sucked. We lost Sminty, that sucked. You know, even, you know, Minty, Sminty, the back-to-back eliminations of Melinda, Minty, Sminty, and then Serena, who was another fan favorite. I mean, it was just like really sucky to see these queens go, because I think that they were some of the queens bringing in a lot of viewership. Jack saying All Stars 11 is going to be a double crowning of Silky and Kennedy. Tay Gold, you live in the universe where Bianca and Adore got that double crowning. Oh, wow, you're really bringing me back to some old memories there. Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up for today. First, I want to say thank you, everybody, for tuning into the live. This has been a lot of fun, as it always is every single week doing these UK versus the World lives. I'm going to find a way to continue a weekly live stream with everybody so that we can keep getting together and chatting about Drag Race. I might do some lives for All Stars when that starts in May. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. Y'all will have to let me know in the comments in the chat, on Patreon, somewhere. Tell me if you think these lives are going to work well for something like All Stars. We'll see. Otherwise, though, I will find a way to do a weekly live with everybody in whatever form that looks like. I'm also, of course, live on Twitch pretty often, playing video games if you like that. So make sure to click the link below and check out my gaming channel and Twitch channel as well. I may even go live tonight and or tomorrow to do some video game lives. Hey Gold asking, when's the All-Stars 11 cast dropping? I don't know. Probably in a couple weeks. They usually do it like what? A week or two after, I think, the crowning for the regular season? Question mark? Something like that. That'll be soon. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in today. I also want to say thank you so much to all of my channel members who are here on YouTube helping support the channel. That's everybody with a green name that you've seen in the chat today. They get cute little flames by their name in the chat, and those progress the longer you're a member. At higher levels, you can also get your name in the description of my videos if you're a bus driver. I also want to say thank you to all of my patrons who support me over on patreon.com, where if you join, you get extra access to things like my live reactions to the episodes that go up before any other content that I make. And I also want to give an extra special shout out to Felicia, Laura, Parvish China, J420, Miss F. Neely, Matthew Burns, Will and Tanner, Heichel, Ryan Short, and Matthew RN, who are all supporting me at the Bussy Queen Collector tier over at patreon.com/BussyQueen. All right, that's all I've got for y'all today. I will see y'all in the Hotter Rot, and then, of course, in next week's live for the finale as well. So make sure to tune in then at 3 p.m. EST. Set your calendars. See y'all later. Bye.